Good morning, Warriors. Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. I'm doing this one a little bit later this morning. I had a bunch of things I had to get done, so I didn't get a chance to do one, but we're going to try to do two today if we can. But once again, thank you for all the comments, the donations, likes, all those type of things. Greatly appreciated. We're getting close to 1,500. Our next goal is to try to get to 2,000, so we're getting there little by little. And hopefully we'll continue to grow and get the word out. And judging from a lot of the other types of channels, we have lots of people out there. It looks like we're getting more than 1%. I'm not sure how close that is because I don't have any scientific information, but I do know a lot of people are realizing the importance of retaining your semen, retaining the journey you have, and continuing to be the masculine male and the warrior you are. And that's kind of why I call it the male, the Vigor Warrior, because you are getting more powerful and stronger as you get older. And you just have to make sure you maintain that, transmute it, and use it for purposes that God wants you to use it for. So some shout outs before we get into the topic for today in this episode. Mark, thank you for your comments. Certified Finest, thank you. Jesse Bradford, thank you. Portfolio Rodriguez, thank you for sharing, my friend. Thank you very much. Alan Gould, Lucas T, Kennedy China, I believe that is, or Chirma. Alan Tanner, you got a good question, Alan, that we'll get to. And I may talk about it a little bit here too. You've asked me a couple times. I'm planning to do it in one of these next ones, but you're really kind of talking about, will you be ready if you need to use, use it? He says, use it or lose it, type of thing. I think we did a little bit of this one a few weeks back. We'll go back and talk about this one a little bit. As I was talking about, I think we all have sexual energy. And so, I think in Alan's question, he's worried, as we talked about the other day, as other people used to worry about all the way back to the medieval times, of not being able to use it, or of using it too much, you're abusing it. So it's kind of that balance, again, of in between. But remember, the key is you do not want to lose energy. Now, I know we had a couple people suggesting things like pelvic exercises, things like that, to be able to hold it in when you're having intercourse, especially with your wife or something like that. And I think that does work. It's worked for me in the past as well. But the thing is that what you really want to do is realize this is a lifestyle change. You're trying to keep your energy and only use it at times you have to use it. And that's for procreation and things like that, because you want to be at full strength. You want to have the power of a beast, the power of a warrior. And that's what you're talking about here. You're talking about power of a warrior. So you can use that for various different things in life. It also helps you become healthier. In my book, I have not been sick. When I started the Fountain of Youth exercise from Keller, I started those back in 1998, something like that. And I've only been sick 2-3 times, and mostly it's because I stopped doing those exercises for a few days here and there, and it came back to hurt me. So the thing is, you have to continue with this type of lifestyle change and realize how important this is. Now, the other thing you have to do is your semen retention, and that's a key thing. When I started doing that about 931 days ago, all of us are on 934 days, I think. That whole thing is the superpower that you have, because now you're transmuting energy with those exercises. And continue to build the chakras. All the energy continues to flow, and now you almost like you're getting younger every day. Now, and I think that I feel younger when I'm on track and doing it. I feel younger every day. I feel more powerful. I have not been sick through our whole thing that we went through the last few years. I've never been sick. I've never had it. I've never been sick. I've never taken anything for it. And all these things happen because you're taking care and self-discipline. Now, I've taken zinc and D3. I do that. I mean, that's something I've always done. And so that helps me as well. But there's things you do. I take cold showers every morning. I do these type of things. All right, so anyway, back to Alan. We'll talk more about Alan's in another episode. But the topic for today is women should be loved. Women should be respected. But women should not be put on a pedestal. And that's important here during our semen retention. So let's talk about this a little one. I think that sometimes we get the feeling that, this is the enemy. you know. Whether you're male, females are the enemy, or sometimes if you're female, males are the enemy, and I hate all these men, I hate all these women, right? They're all the same way. Well, obviously, that's a stereotype. And what you really want to do is you want to kind of look at your goals, what's God's purpose, and you'll find the right people to be in your life. Now, I've heard a lot of people, different types of venues talking about how, they don't like women, don't like this, and I will never advocate that. I have a wonderful wife. I have two wonderful daughters and lots of female friends over the years, and I don't, I have no. I have no anger, no anything. Yes, there's been times when I have not been happy with behaviors that I've had in my interactions with women. But the thing is that you have to realize that women and men are put on the earth for different purposes as far as God's rule is. And obviously men want feminine women and women want masculine men. No matter how much they say this, how much they talk about, it goes back to this whole idea of providing protection. And nowadays in the world we live in, protection is even more important. And so a lot of females who are out there just cannot, it's hard for them to protect themselves. And you have your exceptions, but very rarely do you see that kind of case. So they're looking for a man who can really be there and protect them. And so the thing is this is a mutual type of thing. And I understand the MGTOW movement. I understand why men are doing this. And I understand that there's a lot of men and women, and a lot of women out there that are just don't treat men nice. Don't treat them the nice way. I get all that. But remember, you're a warrior. You're rising above all this. You don't need to pay attention to all that kind of stuff. You'll be like that lion we talked about yesterday. The lion sits there and does his own thing, doesn't worry about, this and that, doesn't worry about all these things around you. And you got the women hanging all over you because you're just doing your own thing. And you have that energy, you're doing your own thing, you're becoming the warrior, you're doing God's purpose, and now you're moving ahead. And this is the whole thing. This is why you don't spend a lot of time. Now, when I say about attention, I don't mean degrading women at all. That's the last thing I would do, because I've had lots of great relationships with women over the years. But the thing is that the mistake I've made in the past was I put them on a pedestal way back when I was younger. And that was a mistake, because they don't want that. They want that type of person who is going to be an exciting, enjoyable type person to be with, who's also very masculine. That anger comes out, that beast comes out at certain times, not in a cruel way, not in a negative way, not an abusive way. Of course not. We're not talking about that. We're talking about someone who is a strong male figure, and female will always flock to that. Will every female? Of course not. You're going to have people who just don't like that for whatever reason. Maybe they've been conditioned. Maybe they've brought up in a certain way. That's fine. But for the majority of women that I have met over the years, what they're missing is that masculine male around them. And so, why should you, as a person who is, according to the Bible, have dominion of all things, of all animals, of all people? Why would you get angry at a woman? Because it's not a warrior's preference. A warrior doesn't need to worry about that. You need to go ahead and continue doing the things you're doing to make this world better. To get angry, to start fighting, and I see this a lot with men fighting with women, it's not a good thing, my friends. It's not a good look, and I've made the mistake many times myself, so I know it's not a good look. And I'm just as false as anybody out there. But as you get older, especially on this purpose, you're not fighting as much. All of a sudden now you may be playing, interacting in a kind of a crazy way with people, especially with women. But they like that playful interaction, right? Men and women like to do that. It builds that tension so that when you actually have intercourse, that makes it even more worthwhile. So the thing is, guys, what you want to really do is you want to think to yourself, okay, what is my purpose here? Where am I going? What do I want to do? That's why I say that women should be loved and women should be respected. Great deal. But don't put them on a pedestal, because now you're putting them forward ahead. And they're not expecting that. They don't really want to be that way, because now the pressure and responsibility of the relationship more falls on them. And a lot of women don't want that. They want you to take care of all that. They want you to be able to be that man who's running the show. Now, of course, they're going to kind of, be a part of that and be a big part of that, be share of that, and do different things, but they don't want the responsibility of doing that necessarily. And so that falls on you. And God has always said that you are the leader of that household. You're the leader. You're the head of the house. And that's what that means, to be able to be in charge of what's going on there. Not in an abusive way, but in charge of that. So basically, you need to love and respect women. But you don't need to put them to the point where now you're becoming a second person in that relationship. And this is what happens with a lot of beta males. A lot of beta males have no confidence for various reasons we've talked about before. They don't have a lot of confidence in their own ability to lead a relationship. And so they don't have a lot of confidence in themselves. And especially the more attractive the woman is, the harder it is, because they get intimidated. And all of a sudden now they're saying they're a yes person, a yes man. And that's the last thing a female wants. We've talked about these before. The whole idea of this beast and the soothing the beast, beauty and the beast. We talked the idea that a lot of females will try to take that beast and try to soothe them or culture them in some ways. And the more that you can stay like the beast, even somewhere in between, the better off the relationship is. Once you get to the other side of that relationship, where now you become, you lose all your beast-like attitudes and qualities, and that's happened to me in the past, I know, then all of a sudden you could lose those relationships, which I have. And those are the things that you have to be careful of. But once again, this is not taught in Relationships 101, right? This is not taught of how men should act. I think women and girls know this as they're growing up. They learn this by talking to other girls and other women. Men don't do this because men focus on a lot of other things, as they should be, focusing on things like protection and providing and doing those type of things a man should do. But the thing is that we're not taught all these type of things that are happening, and especially what the woman wants. And with the society we have now, those things have become blurred in people's minds, some people's minds. And so you have to continue to stay strong in the idea that this is what God wanted. God wants you to be a masculine person. God wants you to be someone that's going to be taking care of the family, taking care of your wife, taking care of your kids, and those type of things. And that's the kind of thing that you have to be strong with. Now, you have choices. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of choices, like that lion. You're going to have women hanging over you. The question becomes is, how do you make that determination? And one day we'll maybe talk about that a little bit in some other type of video episode. But the thing is, you want to go ahead and make that choice and benefit. This is why I don't believe in sleeping around and one-night stands and things like this that some people do and have these high body counts, because it doesn't serve really a purpose. Yeah, it may make you feel good for a few minutes, but again, you're losing energy, especially if you go all the way with this kind of stuff. Then all of a sudden you're losing energy, and now all of a sudden you feel bad. You feel anxious. You get all these nutrients are no longer going up to your brain and your body, and now you don't feel as good. And so this takes an effect on you over the years. And I've seen people get sick. I've seen people lose a lot of their vitality this way. And we're talking about is vitality. We're talking about vigor and vitality. Those are the types of things that you have to be able to continue no matter what age you're at. Heck, I go back to the old Viking myths and look at Odin. Odin was an old guy, but the guy was unbelievable testosterone. Unbelievable, my friend. Unbelievable drive, even at his age. So the thing is that you have to continue to treat women in a way that we treat everybody, right? You don't treat anybody differently. You can love them, respect them. They want your attention. They need your attention. But you are in control, my friend. You're in control of that situation. Don't give that control up, because you're going to end up losing that relationship. Make sure you demonstrate that you're the male in a relationship. And I don't mean by abusiveness. I don't mean by that kind of stuff. I mean by being firm and strong and being there, and also taking care of the situation in ways that you're not going to just go ahead and say yes, yes, yes all the time. You need to stand up and say, you're the one who's running the show here. Now, obviously, you want to do that in a way in which you're kind of working with that woman. But the idea is that if the woman is not going to work with you, then you need to move on. You need to move on. Because the lion's not going to sit there. Do you think the lion's going to sit there and just kind of fight with the female? No, he's not going to do that. He's got like 5 or 6 of them on his. In the one video I saw, he had 5 or 6 of them on him. Right? That lion's not going to sit there and worry about what one of them is arguing or fighting about something. He's going to continue doing his thing. And the female will come back around because they realize that they have a man of strength there. They want to be near that person. They want to understand, why do you have that strength? Why are you in that 1% club we talk about? And again, I think someone mentioned this to me. Maybe it was Sandman, but I'm not sure if it's 1%. I use 1% because it's kind of the lowest number I could find. You could say 0% too, but it doesn't sound as good. 1%. The people who are actually thinking about this kind of stuff. It's probably less than 1% if you really looked at the numbers of people actually doing it. But hopefully, with the movements happening, it's going to become stronger and stronger. And people realize this. They're not going to get caught up back in the old church, back in the 1100 in the medieval times, realizing that this is a danger. If you do it and use it the right way and transmute it, like Napoleon Hill had talked about and other people talked about over the years, then you're using this to your best benefit. Trouble is, a lot of people just sat there and didn't really use it, and they didn't realize the energy and power you have. And I think we have a little more knowledge of that power and energy we have, and we use it in a wise way. And part of using it in a wise way is focusing on you and your goals and what you're trying to do in the Lord's name, in the Lord's purpose, and not worrying about what this person says or that person says and moving on. Don't get yourself in fights. It's not worth it. I mean, I've had mine over the years, but don't worth it. It's not worth it. Continue moving on. You're going to get people upset with you. They're going to be jealous of your energy. They're going to be jealous of everything you're doing and how other women are attracted to you, and other women who might be with a boyfriend or husband and they're looking at you, right? I had that happen yesterday again. And those type of things happen. But you have to be moving on your purpose. You're moving along. They're in awe not knowing the power you have because they don't see it very much. They don't see it very much. And when they do see it, they're just awestruck. They can't move. It's like a deer in headlights. It's almost like that vampire hypnosis, hypnotic state, right? I think that's probably what it was derived from. But we don't see that because this is more of it's not a Western idea. And this is why we bring it into and talk about this, because this is information that I think you need to know as a male. And so you can actually act upon it. So the bottom line, guys, is treat women with love and respect. There's no reason to do that because you're in dominion. You're a dominion force. Why waste your time? What does it really prove? You are the dominant force. Males have always been a dominant force because they had to be. God has put them that way because then they can protect and continue protecting lives and people, families, and things like that. And you're the one that starts that whole process of having a child. And this is why we had Adam, who was out there to actually be the person that God wanted to start doing things, right? Because understanding this person has that strength, that life force inside of you. And use it wisely. Use it wisely. I can't tell you how many times I have not used it wisely over the years. So I'm kind of always being very clear and direct with you guys as much as possible because I've had all these experiences. And no matter how long that I live, I'm going to kind of put these in there and give you guys these experiences because hopefully some of you guys, and I hear some wonderful responses, so I appreciate that all the time. But hopefully you guys will be able to kind of at least look at the ideas that I'm telling you about and say, okay, maybe Vigor Warriors might be right about this. Let's go ahead and kind of use that and do that because I've had a lot of experience, and I think sometimes our older people in our society don't always share those. And so I'm trying to kind of reach out to a lot of you guys, whoever's interested in listening, to try to kind of give a lot of my past experience and history of things and my knowledge that I've gotten to hopefully help you guys and share you guys and become a stronger force so that men become a force they used to be, and also become stronger and continue to be these masculine males, and then continue to make the world a better place through all the turmoil that we're seeing right now. All right, anyway, guys, God bless you guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you guys later today. I'm going to try to do one with Alan's. Alan was asking about, do you use it or lose it. And then also my Mojo did the price you pay under Semen Retention. So I think we can combine those a little bit together. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll talk to you guys next time. And remember, every day is a new day to a wise warrior. Battle on!